if you can not lose a fish, that is that's massive, you know, especially in a tournament style situation. So FG knot, spin rod, and you know, this is how a spin outfit is what I really did well with in Australia. So through barramundi and through bass and through Murray cod, if you cross all those species, they kind of make up an American bass, and that is what kind of gave me the foot in the door to come over here and want to compete. But I got false hopes. When I won the trip to the States, I went straight to Lake Mead, the US Open. So crystal clean water, you know, desert lake, and I fished the US Open as a co-angler, and I drew. You kind of draw different partners. Well, I drew Fred Rombanis on the third day, and that was, you know, it's just crazy how things happen in your life. But with the clear water and my braid leader, I was using 2-pound braid with 4-pound leader because I could see the bottom in 30 feet. So I was like, I'm going to use the lighter stuff. I had the FG knot, and I used just a little curl tail grub on a jig head. And this is actually something I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get a lot more technical in my next talks about with outfits, rod, line combinations, and talk a lot more about technique. But for that one, because the fish hadn't seen that lighter line, everything I threw, they ate. It was crazy. But I was fishing a little bit heavier hook and I was losing some fish, but I caught all the fish for my pros on the first, second and third day. I came second, nearly won the US Open, never been to America. And I fell in love with the country, I fell in love with the bass and the tournaments, and that's when I went home and said, you know, this is what I want to do. And I went home from fishing the US Open and I saved up for a year. I sold every single thing I owned. I had a Skeeter, I sold it, I sold my truck, I sold all my fishing tackle that I wasn't going to use. They did fundraisers for me, and I saved and I put it all on the line. I had a girlfriend that we were together for 4 years, my family, my friends, like everything that I ever loved in Australia. I packed it all up and I left and came to America. But you know, the big thing for me was that you know, I fished out west where it was clear water, and you know, all my techniques kind of worked. And I went there in winter, and there's something, a lure I want to show you guys later because I think it'll work really well up here, is like blade fishing in Australia is huge. And I know the smallmouth guys and the guys up here that finesse fish that use little blades, we have like Japanese, like in Australia, like we use all top of the line gear. With me, if anyone that knows me, if it's not the best, it's got nothing to do with me. I use the best rods. Those rods are custom built in Australia. They're $700, you know. I use Stellas, Stratix, Shimano, the best of the best, because if you weren't using the best, you just couldn't compete. And so with these, when I moved to California, when I first came over, the fishing was awesome. It was cold and all my finesse stuff was working, my braid leader and everything, but I realized that to be competitive and just the heartland of bass fishing was, you know, from Texas east, and so I had to move. And when I moved to Oklahoma, I got a little bit of a culture shock. So, but what was funny is in Australia and with you guys up here, like Champlain, I've fished Champlain, I've fished all over America. This is my 6th year in America now. And I fished all over America, and I fished Champlain. But in Australia, every single little thing that I ever did was all about staying away from the fish, being as far away as you can be and making massive long casts.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Glusek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.